Well, I was reading something last night that was interesting. Number one, it was in Russian completely. It was a Russian news website. Now, I gotta tell you though, even though it was a Russian news website, I mean complete Russian, there's no English link or nothing, it was a .info website. So whatever the name was, .info, you know, like .com, .net, .org. Normally Russia's .ru, and I believe this was strictly .info, but it was some type of news website. So I guess what I'm trying to say is how much authority or whatever this website warrants, I can't say. But I noticed it was a .info. Usually that's not what I'm going to say, you know, put it this way. Do you see Fox News? Does it say .info? No, it's foxnews.com, CNN.com, MSNBC.com. Now, those are mainstream sites, obviously, but you would think in Russia this really shouldn't be anything different, but it still should end in .ru, whatever, or however, you know, that works over there. I know it's always .ru for Russia. So someone went and bought a normal, what I would call American type of domain name, because even in the UK, it's, I believe it's .eu whatever, or is it .uk something, you know, at the end. So whatever. Bottom line is, this was in pure Russia. It was some type of news website. Again, it may not be anything, but when translated into English, you can use Google Translate to do that, an interesting story was being written about the Ukraine, in that there's some 40 tons or so of gold that this story went on to say was transferred out of the airport, came in under heavily guard, quite a few people dressed in black, machine guns, loaded these extremely heavy boxes off of their out of their vehicles, which were like cargo type vehicles, and put them on this plane. The plane left. Now, this particular person did not know at that time still what was in these boxes, other than that's what happened. And I thought the article went on to say that he contacted someone within the government to ask what was all that about, and I guess was told, I gotta think about how he said, I don't have it in front of me right now, one way or the other, he was told that it was the gold, it was Ukrainian gold leaving the country and heading for the United States, the Fed. Now, here's the issue. We know that we need gold so bad that we're willing to, of course, go to war, do anything we have to do to get this gold, because we have used up and spent all other countries' gold, for the most part, that we've been storing for safekeeping all these many years. And to prove that, just look no further than one of our great allies now, Germany, who had a lot of gold stored with us, again, many years, decades. And they requested it back a couple years ago. We want our gold back. And we said to them, which was the telltale sign immediately that we don't have any gold, we said to them, in 2013, we'll start shipping you back some gold. And the amount we're going to ship you every year and every month, we'll be able to pay you back in the year 2020. And we'll see in 7 years with all your gold. Now, if I was Germany, I'd say, wait a minute, what's this 2020 stuff? We gave you all of the gold that we had at that time You have all of it. You've been storing it. It's in a secure vault, probably underground, you know, a mile or something. Just get it, ship it back. What do you mean? See you in 2020. Well, Germany, I gotta tell you something. They don't have your gold. They've used it. In order for them to manipulate the prices of precious metals down, of course, they have to have some real gold and some real silver to do that, because they do that on the COMEX with paper prices. Shifting paper contracts, bets. Basically, I'm betting the price. I'm going to buy a futures contract that hopefully the price goes up. No one buys a futures contract and hopes the price goes down, right? So those few people and companies, miners, etc., that are out there that are potentially just hedging against the price drops, or vice versa. Some companies' best interest that the price doesn't rise, so they want to basically take out short positions. A little different, but bottom line is they have to do this on the COMEX market. Now the COMEX market is I almost said legitimate. I can't say legitimate. COMEX market is a market where you can demand delivery of the goods. You can actually demand delivery. You got a wheat contract? You want a bunch of bushels of wheat? Yeah, I do. Well, give us the rest of the money to buy out the contract and we'll ship them to you. We'll get with you and we can all figure out where you want it shipped. Same thing goes for gold and silver. So what happens is very few people or companies or whatever, very few ever demand delivery. They'd rather just push the paper back and forth, make the bets, and take the paper profit, cash profit, and everything's fine. But there is that small percentage of people that do in fact demand delivery. And that little bit of tiny percentage of people that do are enough to cause turmoil for these elitists, because they're having to use other people's gold. You remember that song, OPP? You down with OPP? Yeah, you know me. You down with OPG? Yeah, you know me. Who's down with OPG? Every last homie. Other people's gold. So they are definitely down with OPG, and they've been using other people's gold to put out those fires on the COMEX when they ask for the gold that we don't have. So they've been borrowing other people's gold, other countries' gold. So I do believe, what the webbot said long ago, they're going to find a lot of gold that's been returned to people is gold on the outside, massive amounts of tungsten on the inside, because gold and tungsten, I believe, are so close to the same weight, or are exactly the same weight, that you can easily fool anybody with the bar. Because normally when, you know, if you know what a kilo bar or 10 kilo or even what the countries use, 400-ounce bars, it looks the same size, right? It's not going to change. If you have something that's always the same weight, it's always going to be the same size, right? It's going to be smelted down into the bar, you know, it's going to be the same size. Now, if you have something that doesn't weigh as much, you need more of it, which means it's going to be bigger in appearance. That would throw it off. But tungsten weighs pretty much the same as gold. And there was a few little tiny stories about some jeweler or some, you know, bullion dealer that got these, I think they were 10 kilo or so gold bars that were gold on the outside, tungsten in the middle, and they showed pictures, and it would suck to be that person. So I believe our leaders, if you will, at the top already know this and have already realized we're gonna have to pay all these countries back their gold. We're gonna use it all up to put these fires out until we can't use it up anymore, and that's around the time we have to start mass producing these tungsten filled bars to give them back, not expecting that any country is going to cut and drill into this beautiful shiny gold bar. But if that doesn't happen, then how did the webbot know about it in advance? Because it has to be talked about in the future in order for the webbot to pick it up, so to speak. Therefore, no one's going to talk about something that didn't happen or never knew to happen. So someone's talking about some tungsten filled bars in the future. And I don't believe it was that little tiny story of the jeweler or whatever little bullion jeweler guy shop that got a few of these bars. No. Don't think that would be enough to really stand out in the Webbot report. One little isolated incident. I don't think so. So, someone's alleging that Ukraine gold has now been shipped to America. And the person in charge of the Ukraine currently, Prime Minister, I believe, was already on a flight to the U.S. to go hang out and speak with Barack Obama. Therefore, the Prime Minister, no question at all, is another Western world stooge who will do anything the Westerners tell him to do. Therefore, do not think for 1 second, if he's told, send us your gold for safekeeping because you're going to have all these people trying to overthrow your country. If they get your gold, you know what I mean? We can't have that. That's a security risk for the Ukraine and its people. Store your gold over here at the U.S. and let's try to figure this out. Get you back into power and get things going here for you. Okay, sounds good. Really? We need that gold urgently. We need it bad. Bad. We need it bad to the bone. So, how true is the story? I can't say. It was translated in Russian. There was no American links at all. You would think if it was a .info website, which means it was pretty much purchased in America, even though you can host it anywhere in the world. You purchase the name in America. You would think there'd be an English link somewhere. And if there's not an English link somewhere and it's pure Russian, which the site appeared to be pure nothing but Russian, surely that person's not over here reading the American alternative media about gold and how they're taking other countries' gold and that kind of thing, and is then making up this story for the hell of it. Because if he did come over here and read American websites that said that, and he decided I'm going to write the same thing or something similar, not the same thing because no one else is writing that, but write something along those lines in Russian, why would he not put a link up in English too? Number one, if you have English and Russian, you're going to have more visitors to your website. And if you want more people to read what you're writing, you would do that. So, that's something to think about. I got to run. Take care.